You've got to come to Denver, we have to have a reunion. Well, they couldn't come, this was going on, that was going on. One by one, they changed plans. And every couple of days, someone would email the group and say, I'm coming to Denver, I'm coming to Denver. And we had one holdout, and on the very same day, she got 4 emails that said, if you don't come to Denver, we're going to talk about you. And we're going to tell all those secrets. And the next day, we get a note, I'm coming. So we have all been here after 43, we hadn't seen each other in 43 years. And we're all together for these 3 days that we're just having a wonderful time. And you know what? It's not going to be another 43 years before we're sisters. We get together again.
I am Carol Hanson Tilton, class of 1963, first graduating class on the 4-year program. The story I want to tell is what we went through to get it into a 4-year college. We were there, of course, as freshmen and sophomores, and then they started talking about making it into a 4-year college, and that sounded wonderful to me because I loved the campus and I loved Colorado Women's College. And so they were interviewing us, and the questions were very interesting. They wanted to know about our academic backgrounds and what it was to study. Did we really like being in a women's college with no men around and all that kind of thing? They went into great details about our classes, our attitudes, and they interviewed each and every one of us. So I can't imagine the kind of answers they got, because one of our friends graduated magna cum laude, and then some of us just graduated, and so the stories must have been quite interesting and quite different. And I think that there's a lot of class people who do not realize all the questions and answers that went through so that we could become an accredited 4-year college. The other interesting thing on that, from a personal standpoint, is that my entire family had graduated from the University of Washington. And when my father received the letter that they were going to go from a 2-year college to a 4-year college, he sat my mother down and he said, Dorothy, Carol is going to want to stay at Colorado Women's College. To which my mother said, she can't do that. We're all University of Washington graduates. So my father, bless his heart, talked to her calmly. And then, of course, when I got home, that's exactly what I wanted to do. And I asked Dad if we could go out to lunch. And he said, well, of course. So he and I went out to lunch. Now, you have to understand, my dad was a very quiet Swedish, half English man, so holding a conversation with him was interesting. And I said, Dad, I would like to stay at the Women's College for the next 2 years. And he said, I know that, honey. And that was the end of the conversation. So then we went back, and I don't think I ever said anything to my mother, but my father did. And every once in a while something was said about a sorority or the university and all the big campus life. And my father would very quietly say, Dorothy. And then by the time I did graduate, I was the president of the student body and helped get all that organized so the classes behind us would have a full 4-year governmental plan, and that took a great deal. And they honored the 3 of us who were student body presidents on the sophomore level, the junior level, and then myself at the senior level, and we became the speakers for our graduation. And it was just a very interesting time to go through all that and to be pioneers, if you will. And I just feel I owe a great deal of my life to Colorado Women's College, because it really did make a woman out of me.
My name is Jan Howard Withers. I came to CWC in 1965. I ended up graduating, I was a class of 69, but I ended up graduating in 1970 because I took a year off to get married and be with my husband before I went to Vietnam. I was first introduced to Colorado Women's College when I was a little girl. My mother had attended CWC. Her name is Ellen Ray Stewart, and her married name is Howard, Ellen Ray Stewart Howard. She attended CWC from 1938, and she graduated the 2-year college in 1940. So when I was a little girl, she would take me out to CW. I was maybe 10, 12 years old when I first attended a hanging of the greens with my parents, and I was enthralled with the ceremony and the beauty of it. She was president of the Alumni Association for years and years, and introduced me to all of her alumni friends, and they stayed close over the years. When I was college age, I applied to all different schools in Colorado. My parents told me I could only go to Colorado schools because to keep the tuition down, but I really wanted to go to CWC. So I applied for a scholarship so we could afford it, and I got to go. And it was just the joy of my life. The most endearing times in CWC to me was the music. And I sung in the choir with Mr. Lipinski teaching us and guiding us, and he was a stickler for detail and was a fascinating man, and he really took us to new heights in being an excellent choir. We sung with the Denver Philharmonic, we sang with the Air Force Academy Choir, and we just did amazing things with Mr. Lipinski at the helm. The other professor that really was a fantastic professor was Dr. Brush. She was a psychology professor, and she was fascinating, and everyone was very interested in what she would teach us. But she was also a POW during World War II. And so what we loved to do was get her off track and have her start talking about her experiences as a child, as a POW. Her parents were missionaries during World War II, and they were taken captive and held during World War II. She was a fascinating woman and really an amazing person to guide us into womanhood. The main thing that Colorado Women's College has done for me is teach me to be a leader. One of the reasons I came to Colorado Women's College is because it was all women. There was no competition with men, and at that time it was still a chauvinistic world. And so at Colorado Women's College, that just didn't exist, and we all became leaders. So it brought me into today's world, where now I am a leader in Mothers Against Drunk Driving on the national level, and I look back and realize that those roots came from Colorado Women's College as a result of that. I'm just thrilled to be a part of this.